Said, hi Craig, how are you doing? I'm just wondering why the United always sack the manager right before they play us. Chelsea fan. Oh, I know you're a Chelsea fan, Luke. We've had the pleasure of meeting, bro. I don't know, but honestly, I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. You know, looking at the two sides' form going into the game, you're playing better football. So, you know, if I was a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't be overly concerned about facing United. Maybe they get the new manager bounce, mate, but I think it's going to take a while before Ruben Amorim will start to really impact Manchester United. Look, I do believe he's a good coach. I really do. I'm not going to come on here tonight and be lazy and start saying he's crap. He isn't. But there is a few things that we need to put right with regards to Ruben Amorim. So firstly, I want to talk about the fact that there's this narrative amongst a certain group of Manchester United fans that is once again false. Trying to spin the narrative that Amorim turned us down or we aren't able to attract him. I'm going to be really honest about this. He has been desperate for a Premier League job for a long time. And he tried to call Liverpool's bluff on a situation where we hadn't yet announced the managerial choice or who the number one target was. He went over to West Ham to try and force Liverpool into action. Liverpool were forced into action. It's just that action was announced and that Arne Slot was going to be the manager. So to any United fans that are deluding themselves even more than normal, there is no way that he turned us down. Look at the style of football that he plays, and that was the major factor. It's not that he wasn't a good coach. It's not that he wasn't on Liverpool's shortlist, but it became very clear very quickly that stylistically it was going to be just the wrong fit for Liverpool. If you compare that with Arne Slot, who came in, plays a similar style of football and suits the players we had at the club. On top of that, there was of course the links to Manchester City, and United finally have got themselves a decent coach. But there's only so much they can polish up the turds that are at Old Trafford, and let's be honest, I don't see United immediately going to a three at the back system with the centre backs and players that they have. So I would say good appointment for United if they get this one over the line. The Portuguese Stock Exchange was informed today, because Sporting Lisbon is traded on the Portuguese Stock Exchange. They were informed that Manchester United have alerted them of their willingness to pay the release clause. The release clause, €10 million, about £8.2 million, something like that. So it looks like that one will progress quickly. Tonight, I think, is going to be his last game in charge of Sporting. They have, I believe, a League Cup game. And then it looks like he could well be Manchester United manager by the weekend. So yeah, that style of play, or that whole narrative that they're trying to kid them. They do it all the time, by the way. They do it all the time. They're so deluded. Some of them I should say. Some of them are saying, oh, he wouldn't go to City, he wouldn't go to Liverpool, but United pick up the phone and he's running over. Come on now. Like, let's be realistic in these conversations. I'm trying to do my part and say, look, he's a decent coach. But don't be giving us this nonsense about Liverpool couldn't have attracted him. Do you think that he would have preferred to go play in the Europa League with United, a stadium that needs massive investment, a team that has been pissing money up against the wall, or come to Liverpool? He would have crawled over broken glass to come and be Liverpool's manager. But it just wasn't the right fit. That's all there is to it. Don't think Amorim would have been a good fit for us, and Slot has proved that he was the right choice for Liverpool. I think he has a say in what goes on behind the scenes with contracts. I mentioned this to David Lynch in our video yesterday, Soren. I don't think any of us could be anything other than blown away by the start that Arne Slot has made. You know, I certainly expected a bit more of a drop-off results-wise during the opening few months of his reign at Liverpool. So I think, you know, as much as I'm critical of our ownership for various things around transfers, you know, the appointment of Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes and the decision to go with Arne Slot, I think was an incredibly good decision. So fair play to them in that regard. I think we got the right man. And look, Arne Slot is the right fit. And maybe Ruben Amorim's the right fit for Manchester United. He's certainly a good coach and an improvement on Ten Hag, in my opinion. Thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said, I'm worried about Amorim to United. I can't lie. He's a good manager. I'm not going to try and say he isn't. But to be brutally honest about it, it once again feels like a situation where United have just gone for the flavour of the month over substance. And what I mean by that is, look at Manchester United's team, and outside of maybe two or three of them, I don't know how they're going to fit into the style of football that Amorim is very dedicated to playing, namely with three at the back most of the time. United's centre-backs are a shambles as it is. Imagine having three of them as your defensive line. I just don't know if the personnel that's at Manchester United is going to suit Ruben Amorim's system. I think United fans should be excited if he comes, absolutely, but I think it's going to take a while. I'm probably going to have a bit more investment again in the transfer market for United. Obviously, there's one player there in particular, Ugarte, who's probably absolutely buzzing at the idea of Ruben Amorim going into United. But outside of that, Hoyland is another one that'll probably benefit. Maybe Bruno Fernandes, but I just think they've gone for a name rather than the right fit for the style of football that they want to play. Personally, that's just my take on it at the minute. But he is a very good coach, no denying that. This is not to disrespect United. I'm surprised that any big name manager would go to them. It's not a well run club. Jose Van Gaal found difficulties. I agree. And even after bringing in Omar Barada and the other guy from Newcastle, I think people are forgetting that Jim Ratcliffe hasn't exactly been a raving success with Nice either. I'm not saying he's done terribly there, but his expertise in football is minimal. So he is relying on a lot of other people and delegating. So I'm similar. I wouldn't touch the United job. But maybe Ruben Amorim feels he's that good of a coach that he will be the guy. You got to kind of credit somebody with those balls as well, to be fair. I've spoken previously about the fact that I didn't want the next Liverpool manager to come in and be scared of taking over after Klopp. I wanted somebody to come in and feel like, I deserve to be here. I'm the right man. I'm going to continue on. And I think with United, you got to have the balls to go in there and go, I'll put this right. I'm going to be that guy. Because if they do, if somebody comes in there and eventually does deliver a league title or a European Cup, they are an icon at that club then straight away again. So you can see the appeal of it, but it is a risk. Claudia said, I think it's not always the manager's fault for United's downfall. I think it's all the new signings that have finished United's culture and club legends. They barely even get time to prove themselves. There's a few different parts to it, Claudia, and I agree with you. I don't think it's certainly just down to managers. I think it's down to the dressing room at times as well. And Claudia, what really wound me up? So when Ten Hag got the sack yesterday, and you see all the players coming out and going, oh, cheers, Gaffer. Oh, I'll always remember you. Oh, such a sad day. Oh, such a sad day. At the same time, not putting in a shift for him. That hypocrisy. And also, why are you posting on social media about it? Do you know what I mean? Just tell the man yourself. Why you go, oh, look, I need all the clout. Oh, I'm so sorry. Whoa, I'm so sorry to see you go, Gaffer. Hey, how about this? Hello? Eric, really sorry, mate. Thanks for everything you did for us. Really appreciate you. Sorry? Oh, I should make this public because I need all the credit for it. All right, fair enough. I find that weird. Like, ring him. Tell him. Don't just put it on social media. Ring the man and tell him if you're grateful.